Hey guys, how is it going? Jackadunga here, back again with the Week 7 CWL Rising Conference recap. We're going to jump straight into it, but it was definitely a very exciting week. I do have 10 matches to cover today. We do have 3 in the spotlight, the most exciting wars coming up. But there were quite a few different matches here. We'll start off with, well, I would start off with WHF Rising versus D-Sub-AZs, but I did. There is some sort of problem with the stats. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but WHF Rising did pick up a win here against D-Sub-AZs, 85-83 on the score count. I couldn't access the stats, so I'm not exactly sure where it was won, etc. Because as you can see, it says D-Sub-AZs haven't attacked yet left. I'm not sure if that has been processed, but I can confirm it was a WHF Rising victory for those guys. Very nicely done to them. WHF Rising do go 2-5. D-Sub-AZs do go 3-4. Moving on, we do have Boston Tea Party versus Pinus Hangover here. And as you can see, Boston Tea Party do pick up the victory. Probably you would have thought Pinus Hangover, who are 5-1, would have won this one. But they did struggle a lot this week compared to Boston Tea Party, who did have a pretty decent war. And you can see 99 stats, Hangover solid as usual, 63%. Boston Tea Party only sitting at 57%, which is not much of a difference, but the 10v11 for both sides really was quite shocking. You can see 1 for 14 and 1 for 13, those 11 bases proving to be a problem. Boston Tea Party still not being able to get much 10v11 action going on. They have struggled, but perfect dips here from Boston Tea Party would win this one in the end. Pinus Hangover only going 5 and 6, so 1 star would be in it, and Boston Tea Party do pick up a very nice victory to make sure they go 3-4. Next one, we do have Reddit Templars versus Los Colossus. Quite an even matchup here, 82-81, but Reddit Templars taking the victory this week. They did pick up a very nice 2 10v10s out of 6, which was the winning stat, despite actually failing quite a few dips. You can see there, they only went 4 and 6 on the dips, but those 2 10v10s would save the day. Los Colossus would go 4 and 11v11, which they would fail, but they did go perfect on their dips, 5 for 5. There. But that 10v11 score was pretty similar. They did miss 111 each, but that wasn't a problem in the end. Moving on up, we do actually have Crunch Time versus Secundum. Now, this was a very big one. Of course, I do represent Crunch Time, and I do have the full recap of this war on my channel if you are interested to see. But you can see a very big upset. Crunch Time beating one of the favourites to probably win the whole Rising Division, Secundum here, 86-86, a very high scoring one, this one. But Crunch Time did really impress. 66% 9v9 hit rate, 3 10v10s, 1 dip fail, but it wouldn't be enough for Secundum to win. 2 for 7 at 10v11, and they did go for the sure 2-star at the end, the Crunch Time guys, to secure the win. Main reason for this war being won from Crunch Time was the 9v9 hit rate. Secundum decided to scout early, which actually left them with less 9 hits they would have hoped for, and actually had to dip 4 9s, and they did actually dip fail one of them, so they had to use 5 hits, which they could have used at 10v10, but Crunch Time picking up a nice victory there. Fortis Lithuania versus the Moochers. Of course, the Moochers have dropped out, so Fortis Lithuania pick up the forfeited win. We do have next Black Apple versus the OSF. Another big war, 85-85, and this is quite a big one due to the fact that both these clans are family clans. But you can see there, 85-85 being the score. Both sides failing 1 dip, very similar stats. 10v11 on point though, 3 for 6 from Black Apple, 3 for 4 from the OSF. 9v9 hit rates, Black Apple struggled a little bit, OSF were very solid. You have struggled at 9v9 recently, but this week they were very good. 1 10v10 apiece, but Black Apple would win on a solid percentage victory. You can see a good 2.5% victory from Black Apple. Nicely done to them. So now we shall move on to the 3 spotlight wars, which are going to be Knights Templar versus JTJ, Michigan Rose versus Ormino, and LP3 Chiron versus Divine Justice. So we'll jump into that right about now. Alright, so we are going to start off with Knights Templar versus JTJ. Now this was a pretty big one. JTJ currently only lost 1 match so far. Their last match actually happening to be the last loss they had. Knights Templar off a 2 winning streak this week. We'll have to see what happens here though, as Alf does go in on Blaine. Knights Templar up against JTJ. Of course, it's a little bit of a back-to-back Knights Templar appearance, as they were the last Spotlight clan last week. But we're going to be watching a few of their hits here. This is what was suggested to me by a couple of you guys, putting on just the wars of the week and really the upsets, maybe a few surprises, some extreme hit rates, just something a bit special. But the end result would be Knights Templar beating JTJ, which would be classified as an upset, despite Knights Templar being on quite a good run of form. The score ending 83-82. It would be a nice victory from Knights Templar. 9v9 hit rates. JTJ did struggle a lot, only going 32% at 9v9 to the 59% from Knights Templar. Despite Knights Templar actually dipping 4 for 6 and JTJ going 5 for 5. It would be the 10v11 which did actually help out. Knights Templar would go 2 and 11. JTJ only going 1 for 6. This is one of the 10v11s which Knights Templar did manage to pick up from Alf here. But there was a 10v10 as well, which we're going to jump into. Knights Templar picking that one up. JTJ would not get any 10v10s. Only 2 attempts they left themselves with, because they did have to dip a fair few of 9s, 8 to be exact. Yeah, that's right, 8 10v10s, 10v9s in fact, they would have to dip, which was the reason for their fail. Not exactly sure what's up with JTJ. They did struggle last week as well, really putting themselves on the back foot now, because they did need to start stringing some wins together to try and get some momentum towards that playoffs, but they're sort of dipping towards this season. They aren't now 5-2. Knights Templar do step up to 3-4, looking slightly better this season than last season. I believe they didn't make the playoffs, but they might do this season if they continue with this form. But we're going to be jumping in to Concept versus Dang. This was the 10v10 which really separated the two sides here and did pick up the win. Queen actually goes round, but it's not going to be a problem because the Valks are going to take out the Golem, and that Loon is going to be taken down by that poison spell. There they go, all down. Golem is actually going to stay alive for a tiny bit, but it's just going to be a Lalo, so not going to be that much of a problem, because of course Golem is going to pop, but nothing is going to be targeting those Loons. So Queen will continue, actually get a bit of value along that side, which is quite nice. Has popped ability, she will go down to that Wizard Tower. But he's just going to dot these Loons along this side. He's got that Rage spell, going to go straight towards the Inferno Tower. He's got another Lava Hound coming in from the south. He's going to haste those Loons into those Arch Towers and head towards that final air defense in that 3 o'clock position. He's got 1 Rage and 1 Haste. The Inferno Tower might cause a little bit of problems here, but does have a Haste spell to hopefully direct those Loons towards it. That Sweeper in the core tries to make it a little bit difficult to get to that air defense, but luckily they do go to the Inferno Tower now, and he's got plenty of Loons for that Wizard Tower and that Archer Tower. So a very pivotal 10v10 Concept did pick up here against Dang. Going to be a 83-82 victory for the Knights Templar guys. Nicely done to them this week. Moving on to match number 2, we do have Michigan Rose versus Ormino. We have Robert getting the 10v11 on some name I'm not going to try and pronounce. Aditya. Oh god, I've feel like I've mucked that up, but anyway, Robert is going to come in here for the sexy little double. So yeah, we shall watch this out. But this was a pretty big one. Ormino sitting comfortably at 5-1. They had that shock loss to Fortis Lithuania in the first match, but they were on a hot 5 winning streak. Michigan Rose sitting comfortably at 3-3, but a win for Michigan Rose this week would be very, very nice for them, especially against Ormino, who are in their division. So Robert's going to come in here for the 10v11. But we shall check out the stats. Where are they? There they are. Michigan Rose do win this one. 83-82 here against Ormino, who have been very hot all season long, picking up plenty of 10v10s, nice 10v11 hit rate, but it did all fall apart for them this week. Not sure what happened, maybe they just had an off week, but 10v11, 2 for 15 here. They almost use every single 10 hit on the 11s, but just could not clear it. Not sure where or why that happened. There was a particular base, number 1 it looks like, had 9 defences in total, and then number 3 had 6 defences. Funnily enough, the second base was cleared first time round, so not exactly sure what happened there. Michigan Rose doing better, 3 for 10 they did go at 10v11. No 10v10s from either side this week. We're not going to be showing a 10v10 from Michigan Rose because they did not actually pick one up, and neither did Ormino. Surprisingly enough, as Ormino only did have 1 10v10 attempt. Michigan Rose had 6 but did not pick up any. 99 hit rates, very similar, 66% for Michigan Rose, 61% for Ormino. Definitely a solid showing from both sides, but their 9s are usually on point. As we can see, Holden McGroin coming in here on Battlefield with a very nice Queen Walk Dragon Raid. But in the end, it would come down to dips. It would be a nice dipping performance from Michigan Rose, only failing 1 dip. 4 for 5 they did go in the end, although it does say they didn't use an 11 hit. I probably should have checked why that is, but I'm pretty sure that must be wrong. But nonetheless, they would have won anyway, even if they had. So maybe it was 5 for 6. Not exactly sure why that's not showing up. They definitely, I think they must have gone 84-82 then. I'll check when we come out of here anyway. I'm saying this all wrong, but Warmatch is telling me the wrong answers. Must be a glitch, but Ormino would go 3 and 5 on the dips. They did process all 60 attacks, it looks like. So Michigan Rose definitely did win this one. Well, I know as a fact. I'm just doubting myself now, but we'll have a quick look at Holden McGroin, who is doing a pretty nice Queen Walk along this side. He actually very close on the Queen ability there, but does actually cleverly use the Rage here to get through the goblins and the baby dragon. Nice deep poison spell, making sure the witch does get taken out, because obviously that can really be a pain in the ass for Queen Walks. But with that clan castle taken out, it's just down to the drags now, which are heading towards this core. They do take the long way round due to that sweeper pushing against them. 2 of those dragons do split off, but Queen actually takes out that next air defense as they slowly get towards that sweeper. Queen is going to attract these dragons and it will be taken out. But with the Queen, only 2 cannons firing at her, so she will actually go down right about now, but there's nothing targeting the dragons but that archer tower in the corner, so this will be a triple from Holden McGroin, and Michigan Rose would win this one. Scoreline to be confirmed when we back out of here, so I can give you definitely a full little view of what happened here, because I'm not exactly sure. Warmatch letting me down. I should be checking stats more carefully once I leave a recording session, but let's have a look here. Did they finish with 84? No, they did not. They finished with 83, so it might be in the Swags 11, you never know, but 83-82, Michigan Rose. So, we do have LP3 Chiron versus Divine Justice. Now, I think this was the most exciting match of my conference sort of recap. This seemed to be the one which was the closest and definitely the most exciting. I mean, the Black Apple versus the OSF one was pretty decent, but in the end, the percentage victory was quite insane. But this one came down to the wire. You will see why after this raid. We do have Gothic Porag, who seems to be a bit of a beast at 10v10. I remember recapping his attack when we did the LP3 Chiron Spotlight. But we're going to start off here with some very, very nice bowler bounces. You can see that first bowler bounce on the right-hand side at 3 o'clock took that air defence down. But here comes the next bowler bounce, taking out another air defence. And Queen's going to pick up the third one. So yeah, already taken down 3 air defences with about 3 troops, which is pretty amazing. So props to Gothic Purag here, sort of abusing this base for its air defences, but the dragons are going to have a pretty nice path through this base, starting off with the Rage. Got the loons taking out those defences in the core. Got the Queen sitting there, but dragons are obviously going to melt her to death. Got them going to clone those dragons, and that's actually going to haste some loons through this part. Actually clone the loons. I obviously knew that, I was just joking. We have cloned loons coming in here, taking out a few of these defences. They're going to actually get quite a nice push here. The Rage sort of missing the loons, but he does have a load of dragons pushing through this core. Yep, this is going to be a triple nonetheless from Gothic Purag against Romi Voru of Divine Justice, who of course are the newest clan to CWL Rising, but a solid attack from these guys. LP3 Chiron seem to be very hot on their 10v10 dips. Nicely done to them in the end. But we are going to move on to the next one, and we're going to show you the attack which won the war next one. This is going to finish up. So the story is, if we have a quick look here, you can see there was a 10v10 there. LP3 Chiron won 83 to 83, but look at that. Last minute attacks coming in. LP3 Chiron needed that 10v10 to win if Divine Justice got that dip. Divine Justice did get the dip, and it was down to Shujesh to pick up the second 10v10 for LP3 Chiron, which he would do against Plower. What a fantastic ending. I mean, LP3 Chiron must have been incredibly happy. Very unlucky to Divine Justice though. Those guys putting in a hell of a performance to their starting career. They've been a bit unlucky. I think their first loss, oh no, they got wrecked, I think, by Coastal Clash the first time, but their second time they did win, surprisingly, against Michigan Rose, despite everyone predicting them not to win. But it was a very valiant effort this time. I know they're part of the Circle of Clans, so they are quite a strong group, so they are going to be getting some nice attacks in from their side, but it is going to be LP3 Chiron stealing the limelight here. Sudesh picking up this 10v10 with the drag hit again. Going to be having these clone loons take out these final air defense in the corner, but this is generally a very solid attack. Those dragons taking out those right hand side defenses, which he needs to do. That final air defense does go down despite Queen causing a little bit of problems, and the loons thankfully take that sweeper, which did cause a little bit of problems, but that Inferno will get a little bit shrunk down in its damage. But the loons just did so much work there. They're just going to take out the remaining parts of the defenses for those dragons. Just going to have a free run apart from that Inferno. They will land in the Inferno in the end. A bit of the stats. It was a very close one. 2 10v10s from Chiron would win this one, because they did have a better percentage. When you get those 10v10s, you tend to have the better percentage, and LP3 Chiron would win this one. Dips wise, both sides quite solid, but Chiron would actually dip fail twice to Divine Justices once. But in the end, a close one. Chiron would win this one in the end. Nicely done to them. Well, I do hope you did enjoy. Of course, if you did enjoy, please feel free to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel for more similar content. I think I'm very loud now. Let me turn myself down a little bit. And I do hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, guys.